Raiders game day, everybody. There is no way to sugarcoat this one. This is a tough loss as the Raiders leave Los Angeles with a 1-point loss to the Rams. This was a game, well, Eric Allen, James Jones, everybody, welcome in. This was a game that they should have won. And there's been a lot of close games that the Raiders should have won this year. In fact, 7 of their 8 losses have come in one-score games. And they're on the wrong side of those one-score games. So as we try to digest this, you imagine it's a very quiet bus ride, a very quiet plane ride for these players. And this came after a 3-game win streak where it seemed like everything was coming together. But this one hurts, Eric.
Yeah, thought we had the formula winning, and this is super frustrating. And I know, obviously, the players are frustrated, but from a fan's perspective, you think this is a football game. You know, it's a short week. They have a new quarterback. There's just no way this football team should be even this close in the game. But just, again, miscues, unforced errors, the penalties, all those things that are in this soup. And when this soup is available, you don't want none of it because it tastes nasty. And, again, I can't tell you how disappointed we all should be about the performance in the fourth quarter, right?
Yeah.
Offensively, defensively, and again, you just can't have these types of mishaps and think you're gonna just be able to win football games.
Yeah, and we're trying to build a championship football team, period, right? And right now, when you lose games like that and you lose the games that we've lost, right, that we're not playing championship football. And that's gonna take some time. They have to, I mean, the coach said it the best, right? Josh McDaniels said it the best. We have to learn how to win, right? We expect to win, but we don't know how to win yet. And in a ball game like this, you look at the stupid penalties at the end of that game, that's not championship football. And they have to find ways to win, and they need to learn how to win. And they just don't know how to win the close games yet. And it's going to come. But it's going to sting on the way like these bus rides right here and like these studios that we in right now. It stings because we in this thing with them, and you lose close ones like that. It sucks because we gave that one up.
Yeah, all right, we're going to break it all down for you. Here's what's on tap. We'll have full game highlights for you. Also, player and coach interviews, very solemn locker room after the game. EA's going to spotlight Baker Mayfield, a man that was cut by the Panthers earlier this week, had been in Los Angeles for about 24 hours, led a game-winning drive, 98 yards to win this game. We'll break down what happened, what went wrong with the Raiders, and then, of course, Monday Night Football Week 14 wraps up, and we're going to give you the pick'em for those games. Let's kick it up. Look, Raiders fans, it's like a
Raider
home game
Nation
in Los Angeles.
showed up again.
Blackout in Los Angeles. Much more silver and black than Rams colors there at SoFi Stadium. Looking for their 4th win in a row. Raiders' first possession. Devonte Adams, 32 yards. Are you kidding me?
Just nasty, filthy, disgusting. That boy just good. Mama, that man good.
And Jalen Ramsey called for PI on that one.
Yeah, he holding his arm. Don't matter. I just need one hand to go out there and make me a play. You hit me all in the head. We call that and one, you know, and get on about our business. Nice little screen pass right here, 3rd and 9.
Amir
Pick up
Abdullah.
the first down.
And then later in the drive, another 3rd down. Josh Jacobs doing what he does, 11-yard gain. And it's 1st down, Raiders. Ball is on the 2. So you know what happens 2 plays later. 2nd and goal, you're going to hand it off to that man, Josh Jacobs. And the Raiders take an early 7-0 lead. They were 3 for 3 on 3rd down in that opening drive. First opening drive touchdown since week 2.
Yeah, at this point, you think it's going to be 30-0 or something like that.
Yeah, it's going to be a rout.
Really in a comfortable situation, particularly with the offensive line having played so well the last 3 weeks.
And Jerry Tillery with the stop there on Cam Akers forces a 3rd and 1. Next play, here comes Max Crosby. Tackle for loss on Tutu Atwell. Loss of 6 yards.
Defensive Player of the Year.
Right there.
98, right there.
Rams forced to punt. He would be all over, well, whoever was playing quarterback and whoever was running the ball all game long. Raiders' 2nd possession, 2nd and 10. Mack Hollins. He's got some wheels,
Yeah,
17 yards.
Seemed like we had a lot of the kind of misdirection, pitches and reverses earlier in the game.
2 plays later, 2nd and 7, and again.
Oh, I'd like to see
looking
that.
for Mack Hollins.
Step
Love
up
to
in
see
the
him.
pocket.
Yes, love to see
Always
that.
gives the receiver some extra chance to get open.
Drive
Set up more
ends and
field
a
goal.
52-yard field goal by Daniel Carlson, and the Raiders lead 10-0. Everything is feeling great.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's looking good.
Looking good, feeling good.
And then here comes a man wearing number 17, Baker Mayfield. making his debut with the Rams about 36 hours after landing in Los Angeles, never even practiced with the team. So here we go.
Yeah, so we give him a little bit of kind of some sell concepts, run one guy off and have a middle area where he can throw it when the guy's wide open.
He can scramble.
Yep.
Saw that in Cleveland, saw that with the Panthers, so he gains 6 yards there. But the Rams would stall on the drive, and they settle for a Matt Gay 55-yarder. And they get on the board, but the Raiders lead 10-3 at this point.
That's a big kick for them.
Yeah, jumping ahead to the second quarter. Rams first possession, and Baker hits Tutu Atwell, 22 yards. Fresh set of downs. Next play, here comes Max Crosby. Takes him down, -1
Like,
on
what
the
play was that, Coach? What am I supposed to run on that one? I'm going to hand off left or right?
It's not a sack. That was a tackle for loss,
Yeah, but
by the way, as we take another look.
He's supposed to open up the wrong way.
That's fresh off the bus right
That's
there.
right,
You're going to have miscommunications right there. Max says, I'll take it. Tackle for loss.
By the way, he leads the league and tackles for a loss. 1st and 10. Cam Akers fumbles. Chandler Jones punched it out, recovers the fumble. Looks like a big turnover. Take another look.
Yeah, that's an outstanding punch right there.
Fist balled up,
Yeah.
punched the ball out, recovered the football. That's a big-time play by the defense of Chandler Jones. And, that's been a consistent thing we've been seeing with this defense over this win streak these last 3 weeks is getting the ball, getting off the field on 3rd and 4th down, getting the ball back to Derek Carr in this offense.
Raiders ball and deep to Devonte Adams on the ensuing drive, 35 yards for the reception. And with that catch, Adams becomes the 3rd player in NFL history with 750 receptions before the age of 30. DeAndre Hopkins and Larry Fitzgerald are the other two.
I mean, look at the release off the line of scrimmage. Look at the late hands. You just stand no chance. Jalen Ramsey, DA, easy money.
3 plays later on 3rd and 5, Derek Carr, not sure who he was looking for, but it's intercepted. This was at the end of the half. This would have been a huge opportunity to go up 17-3. And so the Raiders head to the half 13-3. Excuse me, they could have been 20-3. Rams start with the ball in the second half, 1st and 10. Baker Mayfield is sacked by Balone Nichols. Loss of 9 yards.
Great
Another
pressure again by Chandler Jones to make him step up in the pocket. Outstanding job again.
Next play, more pressure. Max and Chandler coming, but he escapes the sack. And incomplete, makes it 3rd and 19. And they would have to punt. So here we go. The Raiders have the first possession of the second half. Josh Jacobs with a 15-yard run. Looks like he loses the ball, but it's declared down by contact. More importantly, he was injured on the play. He injures his pinky. He would have to leave the game, but he would come back after they taped the ring finger to the pinky finger, but clearly he was in pain for the rest of the game. Rams next possession, Baker Mayfield, incomplete. Max Crosby.
Who's that again?
Max Crosby.
How many of those guys on the football team?
Charles Woodson said, you got to put him in the Defensive Player of the Year discussion.
Yeah,
Next
you
play,
do.
Baker Mayfield is sacked by Crosby, and Chandler Jones forces 4th down. That was the 4th sack of the game for the Raiders. Jumping ahead to the 3rd quarter, Josh Jacobs gains 8 yards on the ground. Last play of the quarter, Raiders only had 47 total yards in the 3rd quarter. Here we go, a quarterback sneak. Starting out the 4th quarter, 1st down Raiders, but it stalls, so they go for a Daniel Carlson field goal. The Raiders extend the lead 16-3. They're up 16-3 with 12 minutes left in the game. Rams get the ball. Tyler Higbee catches the ball from Baker Mayfield on the first play of the drive. Later in the drive, Kyren Williams. Remember, there's no Cooper Kupp out there.
Yeah.
Kyren Williams, 10-yard reception. So
easy throws for Baker.
Ball's
Screens,
on the Rams
check
38.
downs.
Next play,
Both their receivers is out.
Ben Skronik.
Good throw.
14-yard reception. Rams first down. Later in the drive, 3rd and 10. Tutu Atwell,
middle of the pocket.
13-yard reception.
Killing right now.
First down Rams. Seeing a trend here. They are moving the ball. 4th and 1 on the Raiders 11. Cam Akers with the reception that...
It was close.
It was
close.
They call it a first down. They put the ball down at the 1-yard line. New set of downs, another look. That was questionable. And then here we go, Cam Akers with the 1-yard touchdown. That also was kind of questionable whether or not he crossed the plane.
Yep.
But it was confirmed that it was a touchdown from New York. So the Raiders lead 16-7 at this point. Okay, Raiders with the ball now. Little over 3 minutes left, and Josh Jacobs gets stopped for no gain on 3rd and 1. So they have to punt. A.J. Cole, 62 yards, great punt.
This is amazing.
Puts the ball on the 2-yard line. Still feels like everything is okay.
Yeah, we're feeling
at this
good.
point.
We're feeling
because
good.
Baker Mayfield, who has never even practiced with the Rams, has to go 98 yards with a minute 45 and no timeouts.
How long does he have to go?
Minute 45, 98 yards, no timeouts.
It's a long way.
And Max Crosby comes up with a big sack, but this was a huge penalty. Jerry Tillery is called for unsportsmanlike conduct for slapping the ball out. 15-yard penalty and a 1st down. And then right after that, Ben Skronik with a 32-yard reception over Nate Hobbs. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, that was. Safety got
and a first
see
down.
a little more. His angle on that ball has to be a little bit better.
And then there's the game winner. 15 seconds left. The ball was on the Raiders' 23. Van Jefferson catches the ball for the touchdown, and the Rams win this one 17-16. Here's a look at the final game stats presented by Sports Water, and this is a game that the Raiders should not have lost. It is the penalties in the 4th quarter that are the reason for this loss. 7 penalties for 94 yards. If you look at the fact that Baker Mayfield had to go 98 yards and the Raiders gave him 27 of those yards and 2 first downs that he did not earn, especially after a Max Crosby sack with a loss of 9 yards, and you get an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Unacceptable, inexcusable developments in the 4th quarter.
Ooh, you broke it down right there, Amber.
Sorry.
Man,
I had to take a moment
The facts.
there.
Those are the facts.
Those are the facts. That's
those
what
are
happened.
the facts. Can't run from those. And like we all been alluding to, it's just so kind of unbelievable, right? To have a game you think is under control, you're dominating defensively, you have a quarterback who's just been in the building for a couple days, and you're not able to sustain drives you need to offensively, although that has been a signature for our football team the last 3 weeks, running the football, making big-time plays when needed to, and then defensively making some plays from the beginning of the game, and then have it all kind of disappear because of mental bust, penalties, and not being just kind of on point when you need to be.
This one hurts. And it hurts, and you see my body language.
Oh, yeah.
But it hurts.
Defeated.
It hurts because early in the season, we couldn't find ways to finish ball games. The last 3 weeks, we've found ways to finish ball games, and that is the reason why you are on this winning streak. Yep. Whether it's the defense, whether it's Devonte in overtime, Josh in overtime, they're finding ways to make the plays. And then you come out to this game, and you just play stupid football.
James, let me ask you something, though. We saw Baker Mayfield.
You cannot do that.
We saw Baker Mayfield come on the Thursday Night Football set post-game, and the first thing he said was, I can't believe they were in press coverage with 15 seconds left. And that was exactly what you said at the very end of the game. We talk about execution. A lot of these close losses have come down to lack of execution by the players. But is that a Patrick Graham call at the end of the game? The defense there, when you have a quarterback calling out that he couldn't believe the defense he saw, and he knew he could take advantage of that.
Well, it's 15 seconds left in the football game, and you need to score a touchdown. And you're in press man-to-man, giving the quarterback an easy throw. Even if they do not complete that, it's just an incompletion, couple seconds ran off the clock. So for me, I really want to know what the coverage was, right? Because we're sitting there talking.
You have to
we
know.
see safety help over the top, and then we see the safety roll down and lurk like he playing robber to take the beeline away, leaving the corner man-to-man. Or was it supposed to be 2-man and you were supposed to stay over the top? So before I start pointing fingers and blaming it on the defensive coordinator, I want to hear from him. I want to know what the call was. Because if it was man-to-man, that is a bad call with 15 seconds left in the ball game.
And on the other side, as far as a player, you have to take responsibility for yourself and know how you play, what's going on in the game, what he's done quarterback-wise the previous time. He just threw a go ball on the other side and completed, right? So again, in that situation, as a player, I have to be aware. I have to know the situation, and I'm not going to give the outside up. I'm going to be almost on the side with my butt towards the sideline, forcing him to throw the ball in the middle of the football field. So I understand the coach's point of view, but it's up to me to know the situation as a player.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Mack Hollins is going to talk to us about the devastating loss in Los Angeles as the Raiders lose this one.
Raiders Game Day is brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders. Allegiant, the official airline of the Las Vegas Raiders. Low fares, non-stop flights. Book now only at Allegiant.com. Cox, proud partner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Coors Light, an official beer of Raider Nation, made to chill.
And so the Raiders lose this one by 1 point after Baker Mayfield leads the game-winning drive for the Rams. And to talk about this devastating loss, let's welcome in Mack Hollins. And Mack, we thank you for joining us. I can't imagine the feelings right now. Just kind of describe what the locker room is like. A 3-game win streak where it seemed like so much was going right ended this way.
Honestly, nobody really gives a damn about the win streak. Win streaks don't win games. You have a new opportunity every week, and we didn't take advantage of this one, and we got the result that we deserved.
Mack, JJ here. Early in the game, you guys had the run game going. You had misdirections. You was getting them on the reverses. You guys was moving the ball, getting ahead of the sticks. You know what I mean? In 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. You didn't finish in the red zone, but you got some field goals. What happened in the second half to where you guys just hit the roadblock and stalled?
We just didn't execute, and you could see that in the second half, like you just said. When you don't execute, you don't make plays, you don't get yards, you don't get first downs, you don't put a game away, you don't win, and you go home with an L.
Leadership-wise, Mack, you have to find a way to kind of get back on the horse. Obviously, have a week off this week. How do you get back on the horse and get this team back to playing good football?
If anybody wants to boo-hoo, then me personally, I don't need them in the locker room tomorrow anyway. We still have a season. We still have an opportunity to go out and play another game. So I expect everybody to come even harder tomorrow. So if you don't want to be there, please don't show up. I want guys that are ready to work, and I know that we have a team full of guys ready to work. Yeah, we took a loss, but we're getting right back on the horse and we're going back to work.
Josh McDaniels said after last week's win, he said that this team really is learning to trust each other, and we're starting to see that. After a loss like this, how important is it to stick together, not point fingers, and lean on that trust that was developing in a healthy manner up until this point?
If anybody's pointing fingers, there's a lot of fingers to be pointed all over the place. I think everybody would have a finger pointed at them. Unless you played a perfect game and you can show me that you played a perfect game, you have no right to be pointing fingers at anybody. So everybody has to look themselves in the mirror and figure out what they can do better to help this team win.
I seen there was a lot of run heavy early in this offense. Was that the game plan, or just they was taking away the shot plays to be able to take some shots down the field, or did you guys come into this game saying that you guys are going ground to pound? Because usually we see ground to pound, we see some shot plays. We seen the 2 go balls to DA, but we didn't really see a lot of play action.
I run whatever it's called. So what is called is what I'm going to go out there and do and try to execute to the best of my ability.
No, it was a short week, so game plan-wise, you fit in actually great. You had some explosive plays there. How did this short week affect your play today?
To blame any execution on a short week is a sad excuse in my opinion. We had a football game. Other teams have football games on Thursday. The Rams had a short week. They pulled out a win, so to use that as an excuse would be worthless.
All right, Mack, you guys have a little bit of time now to get ready for the Patriots. Put this one behind you, but we appreciate you talking to us tonight and joining us. Thank you.
Appreciate it, y'all.
And Mack Hollins, early on, he was being used a lot. It seems like he was early in the script in the game. He ended up having 40 yards. But the big question, I've been asking this game after game out, even when we see Devonte Adams have 177 yards like we did last week, where was Devonte Adams today? He had 3 receptions. He was on the field. He had 3 receptions. He had 7 targets all game, 0 receptions in the second half.
Yeah. For me, I think it needs to be an emphasis in situations where you know it's one-on-one and maybe off coverage. He's in the inside, and that's where you really see him work his magic with his route running. We understand the release is outside, but I love to see Devonte in the middle of the football field where he has room to operate, kind of like an option route. In those situations, as a DB, you can never be right. Because if I jump inside, he's going to go outside. If I jump outside, he's going to go inside. It just takes a little patience maybe from the quarterback and the game plan to be able to pivot a little bit on a passing play away from what's called. And we know we got our guy. Hey, you know what? Forget everybody. Hey, we're going to our guy right now. I just didn't see enough of that tonight to where Devonte was able to get his game going throughout the whole game.
Yeah, it's disappointing, number one, because he's the only guy we got that's going to bust this game wide open. He is the explosive player on the outside. When we're running the ball the way we're running the ball, you have to give him opportunities. 3 of them opportunities, and they labeled as targets, but he ain't get his hands on it. They overthrows. He can't even touch the football. You have to find a ways in the huddle to just look his way. It's times we break in the huddle and we're not even looking Devonte Adams' way. And I credit DA. I do. I credit DA because receivers, except myself, we labeled as divas. And I'm proud of him because if that was me, I would have been done, came out and said, man, come on now.
Yeah.
Like, the ball need to come over here. You know what I mean? And he ain't said none of that. He ain't did none of that. You know, he's been the team thing, doing the team thing, and I understand, you know, he's leading the league in targets and DC is looking for him. But in games like this, when the game is on the line and you have to have a 3rd and 3 and you have to have a 3rd and 5, DA is the only person you're looking for, right? You got all the chemistry in the world, you and the quarterback. DA is the only one you're looking for. DA is the only one I'm calling to play for if I'm Josh McDaniels. Hey, get the ball to DA.
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm motioning him. I don't care if it's one-on-one. You see it, get it to him, unless it's just strictly double coverage, and then go somewhere else. But find ways to get Devonte Adams the ball. We scored on the first drive because he had an explosive game. We in the red zone on another drive because he had an explosive game. Feed the man the ball. He's the best receiver in the National Football League, and it's not close.
Last week, when he had that 177-yard game, he didn't touch the ball until the second quarter. And we talked about that in the postgame, that he told us in the postgame, I need to get the ball in my hands. I need to feel the ball in my hands early in the game.
Right.
And then we see that first drive. They run the football, and then what happens? He makes that amazing catch. They took a shot downfield.
The
And we
eraser.
said, this is it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
And then it just went away.
Right.
And that, I think, is going to be confusing to a lot of people as we try to evaluate all of the things that went wrong. And as Mack Hollins said, you can't point fingers because you're pointing them in a lot of directions after this loss by 1 point to the Los Angeles Rams. We'll be back. We're going to hear from Derek Carr next. Welcome back to Raiders Game Day. A devastating loss, 1 point to the Los Angeles Rams, a game that the Raiders were up 16-3 with 12 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. And the offense, an offense that's been so explosive.
Yeah.
You know, a week after Josh Jacobs and Devonte Adams exploded, they weren't able to score more than 16 points. And Derek Carr had a tough game. You know, 137 passing yards, 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. This team definitely took a step back offensively today.
Yeah, and it's crazy, too, because we talk about getting Devonte Adams in rhythm, right? Same thing at the quarterback spot. If I'm handing it off, right, I'm not in rhythm myself, right? You've seen when we are able to run the ball and you get Derek Carr and play action pass, he gets in the rhythm of the football game. Today, they never really got in the rhythm. That's why they stalled so much in the red zone as well. It was never really a true rhythm. Other than that first drive to where he got the ball out of his hands quick, supposed to play the DA, then got the ball out of his hands to the runner. It wasn't really a rhythm on offense, right? It was just, okay, we just felt like we was running the ball, trying to eat the clock up to, you know, hey, Baker Mayfield's not going to score 2 touchdowns. So it's a rhythm for Derek Carr, too. And I feel like he never got in the rhythm tonight, neither on the offensive side of the ball, and it showed.
Let's hear what Derek Carr had to say as he took the podium at SoFi Stadium.
Derek, what happened tonight? What do you think? I'm not asking you to throw anybody under the bus, just sincerely, what happened?
Yeah, as a team, we just didn't finish the game the right way. You know, it's NFL, it's going to be close, it's going to be tough sometimes, and this was one of those games where I think in the red zone we didn't execute how we should have. You know, we left some plays out there, and some points out there. And then at the end of the game, I just didn't think we finished it how we could have finished it to win the game, and not even have to put the defense out there or anything like that. We just didn't execute.
This is the fourth double-digit lead this team has lost. Is it a pattern that's happened, or is it different with each loss?
No, it didn't feel that way, if I'm honest. It didn't feel like something like, oh, here it goes again or anything. It didn't feel anything like that. At the end of the day, it's football, and you're going to turn the film on and you're going to see, well, oh, that's why that happened, or that's why that happened. And, coaches will correct it, and it sucks, man. No margin of error. It's tough.
Derek, obviously, this is a talented team. You have to be to build those leads. Why do you think there's been that disconnect in, being able to build those but not being able to finish them, given, the talent that you all have?
Yeah, I'm not sure on this one because I'd have to watch it, and once you watch it, it tells a lot. For me, it didn't feel, out of place or something didn't feel off or anything like that. I felt like, we had a good control of what we wanted to do, and I really think it just comes down to the execution of the plays. Some of the stuff that hurt us in past games, that's just what it came down to at the end.
Offensively, it seemed like you guys kind of were having a more conservative approach today, a lot of runs, in the red zone, settling for field goals, things of that nature. Wanted you guys to be more aggressive in some of those moments, given the success you've had the last few weeks on offense?
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a better question for Josh. Whatever's called, we're trying to execute at a high level. There's times where there's run and pass checks and different things based on looks that we get and all that kind of stuff. So sometimes things can end up that way too. But for me personally, whatever Josh is calling, we're just trying to execute that and make it happen.
And as you said, it's pretty much no margin of error. You could have said that coming into this one. Does that make it more frustrating to see some of those kind of small mistakes, whether it be penalties or other things that kind of contributed to this loss? Yeah,
absolutely. It hurts. It hurts, but we put ourselves in that position, right? We won, however many games in a row, but it doesn't mean you win the next one. And you try and talk about it, preach about it, work so that doesn't happen. But it happened to us today, and it's hard. It's tough, but we put ourselves in that position. It's nobody else's fault.
Derek, you've had a 3-game winning streak, but how frustrating is it that the last 2 losses have come to teams on losing streaks, but a guy who had never coached and now a quarterback who came in on 2 days' notice?
Yeah, it's tough, but it's the NFL. These are professionals. There's really cool stories and cool moments for some guys, and I'm sure Baker will love that moment for the rest of his life, to come in and be able to do what he did on just a short notice, to learn the playbook again. I don't know what he knew before, what schemes he was in and all that, but you got to give credit to them, for those moments. So it's frustrating, it's tough, but it's not something that we talk about hey, this is a big opportunity because of this. It's professional football, and you're going to get everybody's best no matter who's playing, not playing, all that kind of stuff.
Derek, could you walk us through the interception down by the goal line? Just what was you read, and did you feel the pressure of the pocket collapsing?
Yeah, I don't know if I got tripped. I don't know what happened. Something happened, but I was throwing it to Mack in the back of the end zone. The safety took Foster, and I was going to throw it to Mack, and something happened as I was throwing it. And okay, yeah. So yeah, something happened, but Mack was open. I was trying to give him a ball for a touchdown, and that's the hard part, because that's points, and that's the difference in the score. It's tough, but we're, that close to having a touchdown, and everyone's feeling better about today.
Got it all set?
One more thing. Derek, after the Colts loss, it kind of seemed like you were questioning some things. Do you feel like the team's in a different place now after this one?
Yeah, definitely a different place. Yeah, for sure. Short answer, yeah, absolutely. We're in a different place as a team. And I love these guys. I go to war with them anytime. I love this group and where we're at right now, where we're headed. But there's no margin of error. We gotta do whatever we can to win the next one.
All right,
Thanks.
Thank you, Derek. Thanks.
And there is no margin of error in the NFL. You can see how close these games have been for the Raiders. Of their 8 losses, 7 have come by 1 possession. 2 now have come by just 1 point. Lost to the Chiefs in week 5 by 1 point, lost to the Titans in week 3 by 2 points. This hurts to look at this. This is the difference between a team that is in a position to go to the playoffs and a team that is in a must-win, absolute must-win situation, and even then might not make the playoffs. And that's tough to swallow because if they won this game, JJ, we took a look at the AFC standings, they would be in a very good position compared to what other teams are, like the Patriots are doing right now, who they face next week. So that's a tough one to swallow. But when it is a one-possession, one-score game like that, EA, what does it come down to? Is it execution? Is it play calling? Is it penalties? I mean, is it a number of things that this team has been plagued by?
All together now. It's all of the above.
Yeah.
You know, everyone at home is saying the same thing we're saying, right? Because we don't know what formula works. Obviously, we thought we knew, but again, it comes down to some penalties. It comes down to execution or the lack thereof. When you start to break down the plays, you say to yourself, man, that was a perfect position. You have to execute. You have to, if you're in position to make a play, you have to make the play.
That's it.
And we just don't see consistently us doing that outside of maybe those guys on the front line. It seems like defensive line-wise, they've kind of got their stuff together, right? Yeah. They've been on a roll here recently, inside to outside. Chandler's getting it done. Max always does an outstanding job. It just seems like the most important times for a defensive back to come up with those heady plays, they just don't make them. Yeah. And we haven't seen that. And again, we got the interception late, but we got the turnover, right? You have to find a way, if you're a defensive back, to be the type of player that excels in these types of situations. And in order to do that, you have to put yourself in those situations through watching film. Yeah. That's the way you do it, right? You go back, you look at yourself, man, I wasn't in good position here, but we end up winning the game. I'm going to learn from that situation. It just doesn't seem like we have learned from those situations. And if we don't, that stat we just saw is going to continue to happen with us.
All right, when we come back, EA is going to break down Baker Mayfield and what went wrong in that final drive. That's coming up next right here on Raiders Game Day.
This segment has been brought to you by Twitch. Watch, discover, join in.
Welcome back to Raiders Game Day, and so the Raiders lose this one. Baker Mayfield, JJ, gets the ball back with 1:45 left. At the 2, he has to go 98 yards.
With no timeouts.
With no timeouts, and he ended up doing it. How did he do it? What went wrong on the Raiders' part? Let's turn it over to Eric Allen for our defensive spotlight.
Guys, I love this job, but I hate to be here right now putting Baker Mayfield on our screen, right? Number 17, probably didn't even know what number he wears. Just got in the building to Los Angeles a couple hours ago, basically. And that last drive, you know, basically had an outstanding punt on our side. It rolls down, but here, this is probably his best throw of the night. This is an incredible outbreaking route as a cornerback. That's what you want him to throw. And if he can complete that, okay, I can live with that. Here, this one right here, and again, this is a poorly thrown ball. Let's look at the replay. This ball should be intercepted. This is lack of execution right here. This is what I'm saying. Safety, you're waiting for the overthrow. You got to attack the football at this point. Game's over if you attack the football. So again, you give him another life. You give him an opportunity to be able to come back and throw another go ball on the other side. And this right here, again, Ram fans all over. Steps up in the pocket. This is another good throw coming across the middle here. You have to find a way to kind of keep the ball in the middle. You tackle him. Clock is running. Clock is running. Look at that. 13 seconds left. Touchdown, Baker Mayfield. We'll see on the replay. This should never happen. Situational football. You can't be impressed, man, with 13 seconds to go. Where's our safety help? Okay, complete breakdown. We're talking about coverage as a football player. You have to know the situation. You can't put your situation like that. And then coach-wise, you can't put the player in a situation where you don't have help over top with no timeouts. Baker Mayfield had a couple really good throws, but us as Raiders, we were the ones who let him off the hook tonight. Can't allow it to happen again. Have to learn from our mistakes. Again, Raiders football. We got to be better than this.
Here's a dose of reality. Baker Mayfield was cut by the Panthers on Monday. He lost the job to P.J. Walker and Sam Darnold. And he was picked up by the Rams. Only team that made a claim for him on waivers. One team made a claim for him, it was the Rams. He hadn't even practiced with the team. Not even practiced once with the team, was with the team about 36 hours and was able to have the go-ahead touchdown. That was the longest go-ahead touchdown drive that began in the final 2 minutes of the game in 45 years of the National Football League. It was improbable, not impossible, and he did it. And you do have to tip your hat. That's a big moment for Baker Mayfield.
You really do.
We are not here to slam Baker Mayfield.
Right,
he did the job. He came and he got it done. It is a big moment for him. It's a big moment for the Rams. It should not have happened.
Probably saved his career.
Possibly.
He's probably going to be, you talk about Los Angeles, coming to Los Angeles, playing on Thursday night. Everyone's watching. Couple big-time throws, particularly the touchdown. He's going to be partying all night tonight.
And you're right. I mean, shoot, he gave the team some mojo, man. He came in there, he made some throws. I mean, and we're talking about a guy who was a #1 overall pick.
Right.
We've seen a lot of football, right?
He led the Browns to 11 wins in the
did.
playoffs.
Has played well, right? So he came into that ball game like, hey, man, I done been in these situations
But we helped
before.
him, JJ.
Now I don't got no
helped
pressure
him.
on me.
Yes.
You
We
better
helped him.
believe we helped him.
Yeah,
BA.
we put him in those situations, penalties, and then just between the play call and then the lack of awareness as a player. And if you're a young guy, like our corner was, someone has to help him out.
Well, do you want to see how we helped him? Let's show everybody how we helped him. Let's go through a couple of the miscues. It's more than a couple. Second quarter, here's 3rd and 5. It's the end of the first half, and it's at the 10-yard line, an interception.
That ball has to beat a Devonte.
Yes, right.
One-on-one in the middle of football.
Mack
He's on the right side. See him coming in late? He had ran a route on Ramsey, just lost him.
Here we go. Move to the fourth quarter. It's 4th and 3, and hey, they're punting. The Raiders are getting the ball back.
This was a big penalty.
Cleveland Farrell is called for offsides, giving the Rams a new set of downs. That one stung.
Yeah.
Here's
They don't get the ball
one.
back.
4th quarter, 3rd and 4. Max Crosby's offsides.
Trying to time that
New
jump.
set of downs. Also here.
Yeah, he's going off that center's head.
That's what centers do, man.
Yeah.
That head
3rd and 1.
movement right there. But we have to be better than that, and we have to be better right here.
Interception,
man,
Ron
dude,
Harmon.
with the-
No,
with
it's
the
not.
pick.
It's coming back because of the Meek Robertson defensive pass interference.
This is
watch
the
this here.
defense that we wish we were in with
You're out of
15
position.
seconds left. With safety help over the top, without the holding, the game is over. But we cannot have
into
these
the
type
game.
of penalties.
1st and 10. Max Crosby comes
Get
up
the
big.
sack. Yep.
9-yard loss on the sack. It should have been 2nd and 19, but then Jerry Tillery slaps the ball.
Forget the 2nd and 19. Look at when he slaps the ball out of his hands. There's no sense of urgency by the Rams. There's no timeouts. The clock is rolling.
Right.
Why are we even making stupid penalties like that? The clock is moving. Baker Mayfield just got there. He don't know the no-huddle plays and the no-huddle situation. So it's going to take 10, 15 more seconds to get you right. And we do stupid stuff like that. That's losing football.
Yeah, that is.
And as I keep reiterating, when we say that the only way the Rams could win this game, we're coming in saying the only way the Rams are going to win this game is if the Raiders shoot themselves in the foot, if the Raiders hand it to them. When you have to go 98 yards with no timeouts and you give the other team 27 yards on penalties and 2 first downs they did not earn.
Preach, Amber.
That is how you lose a game. Josh McDaniels presser coming up next right here on Raiders Game Day.
This segment has been brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders.
I mean, we thought we had a good. I don't know exactly what happened. In the scrum of the game at that point, I didn't get any communication relative to what was said or what was done. But thought we had him in. I want to believe it was 2nd and long at that point. It was a first down play. Had the sack, 2nd and long. You like your chances at that situation. They're going to go for it on 4th down. So they still have 3 downs to do it, but to give up a first down in that situation, obviously that's not an ideal scenario. Again, I don't know exactly what happened, so I'll have to talk to JT.
Is anything Baker did tonight surprising, just how they used him?
No, I mean, he's we've played against him before. He's a really good competitor. Made some critical throws for him. I mean, you'd have to ask them about that. I just, we prepared for all three of them, not necessarily knowing who we were going to get, and on a short week. So give them credit. He made enough plays to win.
What did they do to slow the passing game down tonight? I mean, Derek just didn't seem like
they took away some things down the field. We called some, we hit a couple, and then we had a few other opportunities in terms of shots and those kind of things that they defended well, I thought, and forced us to check the ball down a little bit. But that's how they play. There's a good defense. They make you go kind of drive the ball long, hard way and you convert third downs, and you have to keep sticking runs in there. But I don't think there was one thing that happened that took away anything specifically. But we didn't end up making enough plays in the passing game to help us win.
With your history as an offensive coordinator, how hard is it to get a QB up and running on 2 days' notice, or is there like similarities with Stefanski and McVay?
I don't know how much. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. You probably have to. Again, Sean would be able to, answer that question better than I would. If you have no history with the system, that'd be difficult. So if that's the case, then certainly he did a good job of cramming and being able to function. I'd say the more guys, the more time you have in the NFL, look, we all run something similar, some type of verbiage. You just got to get it understood, what it means to you, and translate it. But again, he did a good job.
Josh, obviously this is a talented team.
And the tough part is that the defense played well in this game. Up until the last drive, kept them to 71 yards on the ground, 230 yards passing. They sacked Baker Mayfield 4 times. But in the end, when it counted, didn't get it done. And Max Crosby, a Defensive Player of the Year candidate, talks next about the loss here on Raiders Game Day.
Raiders Game Day has been brought to you by Twitch. Watch, discover, join in. Credit One Bank, the official credit card of the Raiders. Modelo, a taste that's pure gold, brewed for those with a fighting spirit.
I'm just sick about it. It's tough. We played good football for most of the game, but just didn't close the game. And it's happened before, so it's just unfortunate. We have work to do, simple as that. It sucks because, when you're in a game and you feel like you've done enough to finish it, and then we just keep giving them chances, it's all self-inflicted. So it's like, that's what makes it harder. So it is what it is. Obviously it sucks. I just feel bad for the fans, everybody involved. It's shitty because, we want to win. So that's really all I can say. We got another game next week. Get off our feet this weekend and get better. Simple as that.
And it is a sick feeling, as he said. You lose by just 1 point. He had a sack, 2 tackles for loss, a pass defense, 3 quarterback hits. He continues to play at a high level, but they just don't get it done. And next up, they have the Patriots after a rest, so they'll have to
execution.
All right,
Feel your
let's hit
pain.
Monday Night
We with
Football.
you. We in this thing.
I know, Monday Night Football coming up. Tomorrow, we got to get our pick'ems in. I'm going with the Cardinals. I'm down, man.
Even though it's depressing
Are these
night.
EA done caught me?
You know how it is. I was letting you out there a little bit, JJ, but when it gets down to the end of the season, I'm coming back.
I'm going to retake the lead tonight. You
Who
better
you
not
got?
be taking them Patriots. Oh, yeah. I'm going to retake
telling
the
you,
lead.
do your research.
All right, so week 14.
Hey, he's lost twice.
We'll see. Week 14 comes to an end for the Raiders. Disappointing fashion. They lose by 1 game to the Los Angeles Rams. Baker Mayfield with the come-from-behind touchdown pass. They win it. The Raiders try to bounce back against the Patriots. We'll see you in Week 15.